everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are here with the alphas. We are at the end of another Concord Pass. So we are going to look at kind of the results of this Concord Pass versus the last Concord Pass. Um, One of the changes that we had in between last Concord Pass and now, we now get 25,000 points, Concord points, which means you can get 2 extra loot boxes for selling and making ISK. That's a huge difference. Each one of those boxes is approximately 70 million ISK per box, so getting an extra 140 million ISK for every Concord Pass you complete, if you're going to use your points for that, is insane. Another thing that we can do with these points, at 25,000 points per Concord Pass, you can actually go ahead and almost max out, like, how many keys that you can get each pass. So instead of having to do 3 full Concord passes in order to max out the Nanocore collection, it's now only going to take you 2 and a little bit. So we are currently looking at this character having the Thermomagnetic Storm Core available, slash Ascension box. Still thinking we're gonna go for, like, the Rattlesnake box here. I don't see the point in us going for anything else other than maybe the Dominic's Thermomagnetic box. This particular one, along with the Raven Navy's, Thermomagnetic core, are 2 of the best cores that you can actually get in the game. The Rattlesnake would be the next closest, only because, it's just a decent damage and safety one, but it's only the Ascension core, so it's not as good. The Apocalypse has a really good one with the laser EM damage. The problem with the Apocalypse's choice is that the Apocalypse does not have a nanocore that specifies which damage type you are going to boost, which is why the Raven has the best one. For example, on the Raven, with the Thermomagnetic core, you can choose thermal damage. What you can then also do is choose the missile torpedo damage as the AI upgrade choice. That's now an additional God knows how much damage. You've got an 18% to the missile torpedo damage itself, and then 22.5% to thermal damage. If you then add the warhead charge implant and select the thermal damage, that means both of those percentage increases are going to be the entirety of your damage increase, rather than just being a portion of the damage you get. So now you've got the 300% or 400% damage increase to thermal damage, but you lose all of your other damage types. You add an extra 18% missile torpedo damage on top of that. Then you add another 22.5% of the missile torpedo thermal damage, and that's how you end up with the Raven and the Raven Navy issue having such ridiculous DPS without having to try that hard or invest, like, at all in a good nanocore. This nanocore in particular is easily the best nanocore that you could get in the game. The reason I'm thinking of the Rattlesnake core, when we hit Tech 9, Tech 8? When we hit Tech 8, we should have enough to buy 3 Rattlesnakes. At Tech 9, we would probably consider something like the Dominics or the Raven. I think the Dominics would be better for us because it keeps in line with that missiles and drones. Rattlesnake is a good ship, but maybe by Tech 9 we may not want to be flying it anymore. I don't know. I do love the style of the Rattlesnake. It is one of my favorite hull designs in all of EVE Echoes and EVE Online. So I don't know. We'll see how we feel about the Rattlesnake by the time we get to Tech 9. And that should be a lot faster because we will be in Omega. I am considering, once we hit Omega and we have Omega, and we can show that we can keep Omega, I'm considering just buying the 1 year of Omega Duo to get the alpha characters up to Tech 10 just that little bit faster. Because there's not a whole lot of content to cover between Tech 8 and Tech 9 if we're already going to be in a battleship, which is the Rattlesnake. So let me know about what you think on that. We've still got another 5 months in Tech 7 before we can even talk about that as an actual possibility. But until then, we're just going to be slowly working our way through. So that's our plan for these thermomagnetic storm ascension nanocores. I really would not choose anything else. Scorpion would be fun, but it's just not a good ship in this game. Its flexibility is just not quite there. Hey, Jitter, good to see you. How you doing? So let's go ahead. Since this character already has what it needs, I'm wondering if it would be worthwhile to try and get a nanocore for our prophecies. See, that particular thing is not guaranteed. So I'm hesitant to do that because we do need to start making money toward either having enough for multiple months of Omega or buying the Rattlesnake at Tech 8. We don't necessarily have to own the Rattlesnake at Tech 8. The Prophecy will do just fine. But I feel like we would have more impact on our future for these accounts by going into the battleships. So let me go ahead and use my Concord points on the money side of this character. That's 24,000. That's 26,400. So previously, we were only able to buy. Let me find it here. Gotta pull out the notebook. Uh, let's see here. I believe we only had like 20,000 points, so we were only able to buy sometimes 9, most times 8 boxes. The sometimes is the it point difference that we would have between a few different Concord passes. And yeah, it looks like offense last time was 74.8 million. Industry was 72.4 million. We'll check on those today. We'll do some math to see which one is going to be better for us. hmm I need to get a notebook just for the stuff that we're doing here. Alright, so, let me set up my notebook here. I'm gonna name each of these boxes. And defense is the last box. And we're gonna get some disc numbers off of each one. This will take multiple characters for me to do, just to show it a little bit easier what I'm working on. So the disruption box, this will go under Nanocore materials. Should be under Nanocores, right? Manufacturing materials. There we are. Okay, so we're looking for Signature Stream Computing 3. We're looking at... We're only going to do buy orders on these. So 3 million, and we'll have 100 of those. So that is 30 million right there. That'll be the chip first. And then we'll do the cylinder. So 30 million, 50,000. Okay. Let's go ahead and check the cylinder here, data bank, and that is a signature recognition, 308,000. The disruption box is really quite bad in terms of value, and we're gonna have 3,000 of those. Let's go ahead and check that. Times 308,000, 981. So, no, I'm gonna have 1,000, not 300, not 3,000. Times 308, 981. Okay, that is 308. We'll call that 309 million if we sell all of those. So in total, that is 339 million for the disruption box right now. The offense box is next. We're going to do the combat data stream 3. So we're looking at 2.6 million. We're going to have 100 of those, so 26 million. I think we can call that 27. That's fine. We're going to call that 27 million. We are then going to check the combat learning data. We're going to have 1,000 of those at 525,000. That should be 525 million. Yep, 525 million. So in total, that the offense box is currently worth 552 million. If we compare that to the last time I did this, we're quite up there, but we're way less than we were previously. Interesting. Okay. Next thing we've got here is the industry box. I'm gonna quickly check the thing here. Wow, buy orders are really bad nowadays. So 100 of those. No, 1,000 of these. 462,999. 462 million, 463 million. Let's find that data chip now. Construction stream chip. 2.7 times 100, so 27. Yeah, we can round up to 28. $491 million. Okay, and lastly, let's check the defense box. And that'll be a damage monitor. 1 million for each of them. Interesting. So we're gonna have 100 of these, and they're worth 1 million each. That is 100 million on the chips. And that's in the buy orders, huh? Okay. Let's go ahead and check the databanks. Defense Tactical. There we are. So 302, so these will be quite low. 2,000 times 1,000, so 302 million. So that's going to come out to 402 million. So at this point in time, the disruption box, 10 of them are going to net you 339 million without taxes. Each box breaks down to 33.9 million per box. Okay. The offense box is worth 552 million for 10 of them. That means that box is only worth 55 million per box. The industry box will give you 491 million, which is 49.1 million per box. And the defense box will give you 402 million, which equates to 40.2 million per box. That is actually a lot lower than it used to be. It used to be per box, we were getting, so I'll bring up the example here. On the offense box, the chips were worth, oh, I feel like I might have done something wrong in the past, but I don't know. I can't really tell. Since the number of boxes is different, it just doesn't seem quite right. Either way, essentially, yeah, I think I know how I can do this. This was on 8. I don't know. But, previously, the disruption box was worth 29 million. It's up to 33.9 million. The offense box was at 74.8 million. We are now down to 55.2 million. The industry box was 72.4 million. We are now down to 49.1 million. The defense box was 48.5 million, and now we are down to 40.2 million. quite a large loss in income this year, this month. Now, I don't know if that's because there's now the extra amount of people trying to do Concord Pass and make this ISK, which ended up flooding the market and lowering the prices. But I still wouldn't turn down 500 million compared to the 310 we were doing previously with less boxes. So I will take the compromise. And what this means is for every 2 Concord passes, we can pretty much get 1 month of Omega. Current Omega costs, let's see, Flex is up to 9.4. Ooh, that hurts. Wow. That is extreme. We need 170 for Omega. 9,497,948 times 170. That is 1.6 billion for Omega. Okay, so that is already, with that price, it has gone up by 200 million. I'm thinking we should have another event in the future that's going to crash the prices of this Flex. So we're gonna hold on to our ISK until we need it, or until we want to use it for buying Omega again. By the time we hit Tech 8, it won't matter what the cost is to us, but in this early Tech 7 area where we're still making the same amount of ISK per hour, give or take a little bit, that we were doing at Tech 6, it is really rough. So we need to definitely keep this in mind. I probably need to make some kind of Excel document or something for this kind of stuff. Every time I check it, it'll just be a reference sheet to how things were going at that particular time. Now, I have noticed that during the day, flex prices go up, and during night, for me, flex prices go down. So I definitely would want to be looking for better pricing late at night. And I'm talking like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. Alright, so it looks like our best option this week is going to be the offense box. However, that does come with a caveat. We need to see that we can actually sell everything at that decent price. Now, what I think I will do is I will put a sell order up instead of just selling to the highest buy order. so I can get that little bit extra out of what we are selling. These other two characters, the ones on the left here, they will be using their Concord points, not for ISK, but they will be using them for keys. So we're going to do 10 keys and 10 keys. We're going to do 10 at a time, only because if I do get the thermomagnetic storm core, the box, I don't want to use all of my points on these keys. I would rather take the points and put it into more money for the accounts. So let's go ahead and open 10. We got a faction frigate box and an industrial ship box. That's really good, actually. Could put ourselves in, like, a Covenant or something later on. And get AI going. Hey, Asim, how you doing today? Alright, let's go ahead and get another 10 keys. We're going to open another 10. We have got the Imperial Cruiser, which really doesn't help us. Gonna go ahead and get 5 more. Hopefully we get our battleship core this time, otherwise it'll be the next. Oh, there's our battleship core. Very nice. I'm glad to see it. So this will give us the thermomagnetic storm core box, or the Dark Halo box. Interesting. So this would give us the Rattlesnake Dark Halo. I don't think I've seen this one used all that often. Drone damage, drone tracking. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, that's actually pretty good that we got this one in particular. I would have liked to have had the same one as I have on this character. Clone bound. Yeah, so we got our thermomagnetic stormcore box. But we're probably gonna end up with the faction battleship box. Can this thing be put on? Nope, just the scorpions. Okay. And that's a hard choice. Okay, let's go ahead and get our 10 boxes here. We've got a battlecruiser box. We can get a nanocore for our battlecruiser now. Faction free. Okay, let's go ahead and get 10 more. Let's hope this solves our battleship box problem. Destroyer killer. Okay, let's go ahead and get 5 more. Yeah, I don't know what that box was, but we'll check that in a minute. Okay, so we've got the Imperial frigate, we've got the destroyer, we've got a battlecruiser box, and we have a faction frigate box. Okay. Not great. We're gonna have to go into the next Concord Pass and get this early on, which will give us the... should give us the Thermomagnetic and Dark Halo box. So that one. Let's go ahead and make our money on our boxes and things. I need to take that one and that one with me. I also need to take... Yep, we are done with our Concord grind this month. Just finished it this morning, actually. That we need to take with us. Okay, so we will be selling all of this stuff in Gina. Take that with us. Take that with us. And take that with us. That. That. And that. We'll still make some ISK, but it won't be a whole lot.
Autopilot engaged. Undocking.
Yeah, I'm actually, like, a little disappointed at how much these boxes have dropped in price. I mean, they've lost 25
Warp
million,
drive active.
million ISK worth of value for each box. The only one that actually went up in value was the disruption box, but it went up by 4 million. Almost 5 million ISK. But it's still only like half the cost of everything else. But what's exciting about today, even though we did not get what we were looking for particularly, we can actually start putting a Nanocore on one of
Warp
our
drive active.
battlecruisers. Since we got that loot drop.
Destinate docking request accepted.
The character in the bottom left got a battlecruiser Nanocore, and so we will have a look at that after I sell all this. Oh, and while I'm here, I'm going to swap everything back out to the long-range ones because I did not enjoy having the rapids. We'll save the rapids for something else. If we decide to get something else. I'm halfway tempted to have a look at, like, the Gila, even though we don't have skills for it. But it is still worse than the prophecy. Oh. Okay, I will be back in a few minutes. I'm gonna let the stream sit here. So I will be back in probably 5-10 minutes maybe. I have to move the refrigerator. Alright, everybody, I am back. Sorry for the interruption. Man, it's amazing. Some of the things that happen. Jeez. Um, long story short, my neighbor's got a new refrigerator. So they got it off their vehicle, got it into place, and apparently it's like twice as deep as what they ordered. And of course, in doing so, it ended up taking the entirety of the space that they had, and so they had to come ask me and my family for help to get it out of that space and back onto their vehicle so they can go back and bring it back to wherever they got it from to try to get the right model. My god. It was funny. I don't know how they got that in there, but they did. Just amazing. Right, we were going for... Which box again? This is why I write things down. I forget what I'm doing half the time. We're going for the offense box this time around. Nice. 1,300,000, that's not bad. I've hit the same button twice. Alright, so we've got... I think I'm gonna put these up for about 570 million. That way we get a little bit more out of them. 570,000, sorry. $2.3 million versus 3.4. I'd rather just put it up at 3 million. Two point six, 2.6, because it was 3.6. Somebody coming through and selling a whole bunch of stuff, not paying attention to how much they're selling and to who. I think putting it at 3,200,000 would be reasonable. And we'll wait for those to sell. That's mine. I'll sell these at 2.3, that's fine. I don't need every character to have massive profits. Alright. So with that being said, while right now we didn't make a whole lot of money, we did end up getting our a Prophecy Nanocore and another Battleship Nanocore for when we hit Tech 8. Let's go ahead and head back to Perimeter, our home base.
Autopilot engaged. Undocking.
Lots of stuff going on in Gina as usual.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, so previously on 8 boxes, we were... Well, it was like 7 or 8 boxes. We were making somewhere in the 350, 380 million range on... Probably like 350 on the offense box for 8 of them, or 7 of them, whichever number this is. But now we're making 552
Warp drive
million in
active.
total. Once everything sells.
Destined docking request accepted.
By the way, if anybody is listening, did you also get a Concord gratitude thing? I just ended up, it ended up popping up in my system 17 hours ago, and I'm just confused as to why it's here. Because it wasn't part of an update. It was just kind of a random event, as far as I'm aware. I found it pretty cool. All of my characters have received this, so I assume it went to everybody. Alright, let's go ahead and have a look at that Prophecy Nanocore that we got. Let's see, which one is it? There it is. Open. So we want the... So that one has a Prophecy Exile core, which has drone damage and armor repair amount. Interesting. Armor repair capacitor need. Cool. Command burst. Armor. So this is kind of a tanky core. Okay. How about you? Okay, not there. Prophecy. This has drone damage, command burst amount, drone tracking speed, command burst, drone range. Interesting. Command burst. Drone thermal damage is really nice, but we don't have anywhere near what we would need to get down there. Okay. And this is only for the Tech 8 battlecruisers. So our choice is Trailblazer or Guardian Exile. So missile torpedo damage with command burst, or missile torpedo damage with shield booster. Oh, that's the Cyclone. Never mind. Prophecy. There you are. Drone damage with armor repair. Would I want anything in this first level? Warp drive capacitor, armor repair capacitor is probably the best thing here. Doubled armor. Command burst startup. If we get the warp stability, which I'm not going to invest that much into it, but with the warp stability, we'd be safer flying around. Yeah, I guess my real question is, what does it look like? We said it was the Outlaw skin. Ah, okay. Or we have the Trailblazer option. Eh, kinda ugly. I think I'd rather have the Outlaw skin. That looks a lot better. Is the Trailblazer any better? Drone damage and command burst with drone tracking. I could probably apply better damage this way. Or I can warp around faster. Probably be better just to go with the Guardian Exile. Action Frigate, Frigate, Imperial Frigate. Okay. Go ahead and grab the Prophecy. So this will be your first time on the Alpha's having a Nanocore. So we'll show how that goes. When you come into your fitting screen, you'll go down here to the bottom left where this little square thing is. It'll take a moment to load. And once it loads, your available nanocores will always be placed at the front. You'll see here, this one says owned 1. Your unavailable nanocores will always be placed at the back. So we're going to go ahead and fit the Prophecy nanocore here. It'll then tell us, welcome to Independent Gaming Commission. And we can select the middle, which then brings up these three options. and you can choose one of these three, and you can change this at any time. But I am going to go with damage. He's gonna say thank you for choosing that, and then go to appearance customization. From here, you will now be able to customize your coloration of your ship. You have a few options. You've got an Amar, the standard Amar coloration, or you can go with the coloration of the Nanocore. I think I'll stay with the coloration of the Nanocore for this. If you are an Omega Duo player, you have the option to upload all of the nanocores that you have, and that will save the different skins for you to use on any nanocore you want. That is one of the now newer benefits to having Omega Duo. Okay, so when you select your base coloration, you now are given a bunch of things here which will highlight different regions of the ship that can change color. So right now we're just changing this sort of crazy color here. So if I go ahead and change it, you can kind of see how that's going. Now if you want sort of a gold coloration, you're going to have to come somewhere in between orange and red for me. And that's kind of that gold coloration there. These are going to be the lights and slight highlights of everything. So everywhere around the lights, you will see here kind of changes. No, it's just the first time we've had a Nanocore on the channel being shown off on the alphas, so I want to go through it. Alright, let's see here. What kind of color do we want to go for? Maybe like... I kind of like that purple. Where'd it go? There. It's kind of crazy looking. I don't think I'll do that. Maybe just going full black is probably better. Kinda want that. That's wild. That's a wild coloration. That's horrible. That's kinda hard to change that color up there. Maybe we'll just go white on it. And maybe we'll just go back to here. We'll go for like a white gold look. Yeah, I mean, not the best. Certainly not. But you can see kind of the amount of variation that you can get out of this. Kind of like that red and gold. Let's see. Unfortunate. Okay. So I'm kind of stuck with the white. Okay, that's not too bad. Just go full white with the red. Okay, we're gonna save and continue here. Ooh, we forgot to change our lights. I usually go full red on the lights. And there we have it. We now have our Nanocore. So from here you have a few options. The Intelligent Nanocore expansion, which will give us access to the AI core when we have 90 of these Tesseract cores. You get these Tesseract cores from the Concord Pass, particularly Concord points, and buy them right here. They are 400 per, so I would need another 23 of these, which puts me at 9,200 to get the AI core active, and you can choose between one of those two other uh, base stats, base attributes for the Nanocore. When I do this, I would go for the armor repair here. And that is how that works. Oh, let me go ahead and actually put that on. Make sure it's actually on. I'm just going to hit fit. It will change all of my colors. There is a slight bug once in a while where you won't see the color change in the window, but here we are. Let's see how much of a DPS increase that is. It is, well, 25, like almost 38 or something like that. 38 DPS difference between having the Nanocore and not having it. So that's the benefit of having Nanocores. We'll have a look at upgrading it now. Under each Nanocore, when you go into it, you will have the option to upgrade to different tiers. You have to upgrade through each one in order to unlock the next. The first one always has, this first training option, always has 100% rate on every activation here. So that would be one activation. We are still at 100%. Here's another activation, and another, and another. You will then set activate, and it will give you a random option and amount for any of these attributes over here on the right. So in this case, I got the lowest warp drive capacitor need option. We use these blue AI learning things that you've been getting from events and the Concord Pass in order to re-roll these. So I'm going to roll for an armor repair capacitor need. That'll be the best option for this ship. So we got a minus 4.61%, which is kind of right in the middle. That's not bad. Not bad at all. I would like something a little higher, but 0.2% isn't going to make a huge difference between my survival and not. So on this next one, I'm only going to showcase this once here. You'll see we have different attribute options, and now that we've unlocked this one here, we can now start on this next tier. The first one will always start at 100%. Every time you activate it, you will lose a percentage of success relative to how many of these activations you have. So in this case, we lose 10% per activation. Every time you fail an activation, you will gain a certain percentage back, and that way you have a higher chance to activate the next one if you do fail. Alright, very nice. So with that armor repair capacitor need adjustment, we went from a 16% recharge rate up to a 21% recharge rate. My armor repairs previously were using 109 gigajoules per activation every 6.6 seconds. We are now at 104 gigajoules activation every 6.6 seconds. Very nice. It's a nice little adjustment, but it means a lot to a ship if it's struggling. Okay. While we're here, today's kind of a stay-in station day. We're going to do a lot of things in the hangar relative to nanocores. Alright, so our next thing we have here is a few nanocore boxes here. Let's just see what we roll on those. Okay, we rolled a Kestrel nanocore. That's pretty cool. I'll throw that on the Kestrel. I wonder if the Kestrel can have a thermomagnetic storm core. I wonder if that's possible. Because that would be really good, actually. Okay, we also got another Crucifier Magnate Breeze Core. And we got the Crucifier Breeze Core. We're going to go ahead and reprocess all of these green ones. We're not going to use them. We can't exchange them or analyze them. Actually, can we analyze them? No. So I'm going to reprocess the green ones. This will give us some materials toward our next upgrades of a nanocore. I might keep that one. That one seems kind of nice. I could go and sell these nanocores as well, but I don't feel like I really want to drag these over to Gina again. The interesting part about nanocores is when it comes to the purple nanocores. The purple nanocores, you can actually choose to exchange them or analyze them. What we want to do is we want to take nanocores of ships that have similar capabilities to what we want to have. So we're moving toward large missiles and large drones. That means we want to analyze ship nanocores that have large missiles or large drones as an option. When we do that, it will upgrade the Nanocore AI stats relative to the weapon type. So, for example, on a Raven with the AI core, the AI core will have its own set of upgrades that you can do to it, just like the basic Nanocore. However, the main difference is you get to choose what stats you want to put into it. That being said, those stats start low, and by analyzing nanocores, you upgrade those stats. So, if we have a ship that does not meet the criteria we are looking for, such as large missiles, or medium drones and large drones, we will just go ahead and reprocess it. We don't really need to exchange nanocores. Exchange nanocore will allow you to put it back in a box, which will then give you the option to select another nanocore for these compressed nanites. Compressed nanites are only obtained from buying Omega Duo bundles. So that is why we cannot do that. So I'm going to go ahead and reprocess this garter. You'll see we get a lot more things here. We'll get a ton of upgrade materials, as well as those blue refactoring spheres, which allow us to re-roll the stats on our nanocore. You can get better skills in reprocessing, which will yield more materials. Let's go ahead and open this one here. These are cruisers, so we actually want to choose the Gila, since it does medium missiles and medium drones. And we want to analyze. So when you analyze it, you will be given, may generate the following stats. And here is a list of stats. We're going to go ahead and hit explanation. It'll tell you that it's going to cost 8 million ISK to analyze this nanocore and receive these statistic bonuses. Like I said, these bonuses only go toward the golden nanocore, AI nanocore upgrades. So here we've got a 1 level on medium torpedo damage, 2 levels on the medium drone damage, 1 on explosion velocity, 1 on missile torpedo activation, and 2 for cruiser shields. And that pretty much wraps up the nanocores. We'll go into more depth when we get our battleship and some of the thought processes behind that. So we've got an Ashimu. We don't have any use for an Ashimu, so we're going to reprocess it. Hurricane. This is one that I actually want to do. It requires 25 nanites, in order to repackage it. But what that would do is it would give me another. I'm pretty sure that would give me a. No, it won't. Okay, so it's not worth my time anyway. Alright, we're gonna reprocess that one. I thought it would give me the option for the prophecy, but it does not. Gonna go ahead and do our Imperial cruiser thing here. See here. Do we have any missile ships? The Bellicose is a missile ship. The Arbitrator is a drone ship, if I remember correctly. Can't really tell. But I'm gonna go with what I know, which is the Bellicose. For the missile upgrades. We've got a faction frigate option. So we could go with the worm. Thinking I just want to go clear sky on that. The worm does missiles and drones, so we're going to analyze that. It is small missiles and small drones, but it's still a benefit to us. We're going to save this industrial ship Nanocore because we can put AI on the Covenant, and that'll be very useful to us. And we've also got the Thermomagnetic Storm Core Halo Opt supply. The option here we have is going to be the Dark Halo Rattlesnake, since that is currently what we are aiming for. Let's go ahead and analyze this. It's going to be 8 million. You'll see we got a bunch of just different things here. Now, do I want to analyze this because it's only small stuff? I don't think so. I think I actually want to reprocess that. Right, for all of you missile pilots out there, I have a small little suggestion. If you're struggling with getting levels for your large missiles, guess what gives levels for your large missiles? If you guessed the Hound or the Manticore nanocores, you were correct. When you reprocess, or not reprocess, analyze these bomber frigates, you can actually receive the large missile and torpedo stats. And it happens fairly often. So if you're struggling and you don't know what to choose in your frigate boxes, choose a bomber. And you will get more stats for your missiles. And it's cheaper too. So you'll see here we got a medium, a large, a large, a large, and a frigate capacitor. Very nice. And we are going to analyze this Myrmidon because I want medium drone stuff. Medium drone activation, medium drone damage, very nice. And I'm going to reprocess the Hurricane. You got a Imperial Frigate Opt Supply, Executioner, Condor, Slasher, or Atron, does not matter. Here's another one of those Frigate Trailblazer cores that you can choose a bomber, so I'm going to go with the Manticore this time. I prefer the Manticore to the Hound. We've got another Faction Frigate box. Gonna Trailblazer this time, because why not? Gonna choose the Worm again, because it really does not matter, we're not analyzing that. And we've got a Destroyer, which we don't care about. Okay, from that, we will analyze, we will reprocess the Worm. We will analyze the Manticore. You'll see we have the same kind of options, large missiles, medium missiles. So we got here medium missile, large missile, medium torpedo explosion, large explosion, medium activation, and large activation from that. So absolutely, if you are a missile pilot and you're struggling with getting levels or nanocores that can upgrade your missiles, get as many of these frigate boxes as you can and analyze those instead. So long as you're analyzing the bombers. The Hound, the Manticore, the Purifier, and the other one. We're going to reprocess this. And we have one more to reprocess. And now we have a grand whopping total of 1,700 of these General Beta Tank 3s and 171 of these computing chips, which we can use for a whole lot of stuff. You notice we had refreshed a few times, now we're back up to 170 of these cloud refactoring things, so very nice. Do I really care about the Kestrel that much? Not really. Yep, I'm gonna leave the battleship boxes alone, just on the off chance that we decide to go a completely different route by the time we hit Tech 8 for whatever reason, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna end up with the Rattlesnake. Well, that was pretty much our entire spiel for today. I wanted to see what we would get from the Concord Pass points. I wanted to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of the new adjustments to Concord points, the differences between each time we do one of these alpha makes a bunch of ISK videos, and it drops the prices. Um, and I got to show off a Nanocore for the prophecies. I'm very happy about that. I will try to get the AI for this one so I can show off the AI earlier than what we're going to have in the rattlesnakes. I think that would make for a good video talking about the AI in general. But that's going to take a lot of Concord points to try to do that early. Alright, I think that is all I have for us today. Thank you all so much for joining me. We hit 100 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for the support. I cannot thank you enough. I tried thinking of so many things that I could try to do to thank the community, and I just have nothing that I know of, nothing that I can do to really show my appreciation to all of you. Um, my initial thought was like giving 200 million ISK to every person that puts a name in the thing, but kind of need my ISK right now. We're working toward a few really expensive goals, and I kind of need it. But I'm always available on Mondays to do Dormant Realm carries for you. 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is when it starts. Usually ends about 7 o'clock, unless others are also wanting to complete it. We can do Dormant Realm 3, level 7, or you can join me in Dormant Realm 4 at any level that you want. Thank you all so much for all the support that you put in. It really blows me away. I'm gonna say this every single video. I cannot thank you enough. I will see you around. If you want to follow me on the YouTube channel, you can find me at Orion Ikeoa, just like you see on the channel here. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you all so much, and have a great day.